Hey, welcome back, everybody, and welcome to episode number 4 of Bulldogs Connect. We've got a really special guest for you today, 2012 grad Shane Raiman, or should we say Trooper Raiman. Shane is currently a New York State Trooper, and he's had an incredible journey since high school. We're going to catch up with him and ask him what the academy was like. Of course, we're going to take a step back, rewind the clock, and talk about his playing days and that infamous grand slam he hit his senior year. And of course, we'll talk about the impact he had as a member of the coaching staff. You will not want to miss his lightning round either, so stay tuned. Ladies and gentlemen, episode number 4 is coming at you right now. Ladies and gentlemen, it's episode 4. It's go time, and we've got a monster rock star jumping in with us today. 2012 grad Shane Raiman. Shane, welcome to the show, buddy.
How we doing, Coach? How we doing?
Man, I am so excited you're in the house here tonight. So kind of a standard question. We're in the holiday spirit here. In the Raiman household, what do we got? Real tree or fake tree?
Well, it's my first year in the new house. So Danielle, she's a fake tree kind of girl. So we got a fake tree here.
Here you go. First year in the house.
She just knows I won't. She knows I won't clean it up. So all I got to do is take the thing down. But yeah, we've always been a real tree family. But I like the fake tree. I really can't even lie to you. Doesn't look anything like that one behind you though. That's for sure.
I'll tell you what. I'll be when I'm spending 8 hours vacuuming pine needles. You'll be enjoying something else. That's for sure.
Yeah.
And also, I figured before we get real in depth here, we gotta address a major controversy we've had recently. In our virtual meat raffle, we had a double winner, Mr. John Liberatore. What was your first reaction to that double win by Mr. Liberatore?
Man, that guy's diet is celery and peanut butter. He doesn't even eat protein. He doesn't need it. I'll tell you what. Nah, I mean when he won that, I was just like, I'm done. I'm done here. Nah, I'm just trashing on. That's my boy right there. I couldn't be happier for him. I'll go into his chest freezer any day. I'll go in there. I'll take a steak or two from him. But
yeah, help yourself. Rumor is he had to buy an extra little freezer or something.
Oh, I talked to him that night, and he goes, "Dude, I don't know what I'm gonna do with all this, but I might have to go buy a chest freezer." The next day, he went and he bought a chest freezer for all that meat that he won. It's a God's honest truth. I couldn't even make that up.
Good problem to have. Yeah, great friend, great supporter of the program. We appreciate you, John. So okay, let's get in. So Shane, you've had just a tremendous impact on the program, both player, supporter, coaching staff, from every angle possible. So let's rewind the clock. You graduate in 2012,
yeah,
and right now you are a state trooper. How did we get from point A to point B?
Yeah, so after I graduated, I had an idea of what I wanted to do. So that was part of it. I had a plan. I had a set plan from the time I graduated. So out of Hamburg, I took the safe route, the financially smart route. I went to ECC for 2 years. That's a big thing with like a lot of the kids coming out of high school here. Is don't be scared to take a financially safe route, because I'll tell you what, it saved me a lot of money going to ECC like that. And I met some of the best instructors I've ever had through that school. I did my 2-year degree there, segued into Buff State, where I did another 2 years. And I got my, what a surprise, my criminal justice degree. Yeah. And so I did 2 years at Buff State. I did pretty well. I focused while I was at ECC, and especially at Buff State, because that's when I really started paying my own bills once I got there. So, my parents took care of the first 2 years, and they said, "Welcome to the real world, kid. Time to take it over." So I, after my 4 years of college, I got right into the workforce. I went through the New York State Corrections Academy, so I graduated ECC in 2016. Graduated Buff State, went right into the Corrections Academy that year, literally right after college. Did 2 years in corrections, where I and I traveled all across the state. Went to Albany for the academy, went down by New York City to my first jail, and worked my way back from Auburn to Willard, from Willard to Gowanda. After Gowanda, I was home for the first time in 2 years. I got the call for my ultimate goal, which was the New York State Police, and I restarted the process all over again. So, you did all that traveling, you work your way all the way home, you finally make it home, life becomes normal again, and they gave me the call and they said, "Come on, kid, pack it up. You're coming back to Albany." So I did. So I went back to Albany, went through it's supposedly a 6-month academy, but we were there for closer to 7 months, just how the timeline worked out. And after the academy, which is the hardest thing I've ever done in my life, I graduated that, went to a deposit, or let me back up a little bit. I FTO'd up in Syracuse, above Syracuse, in a place called Hastings, in what's considered our D troop. Went down to C troop, which is just past Binghamton, in a place called Deposit, New York, the middle of nowhere. I did a couple months there, and now I'm currently in E troop, just outside of the city of Corning. So, and that's where I stand now.
That's outstanding, man.
It's been a journey so far, and it's just begun for me.
Right, right. It's just beginning. It's been cool for me to kind of see you through this journey because obviously, we've stayed in really close touch, along the way, and to see your perseverance, through this process, and to see you stick with the plan has just been amazing. I can't tell you how impressive it is. I want to dig into the academy experience just a little bit. How intense were those, 6 to 7 months, man?
It's one of those things where unless you really go through it, it's tough to put into words. You're pretty much there 6 days a week. You go in Sunday midday, and you're there till Friday at 5 o'clock. So you only really have Saturday. And being that we're 4.5 hours away from Albany on a good day, that's your life. 7 months of my life was study, work, and you're cut off from reality. No phones. I mean, we got our phones for 5 minutes on Wednesdays. You ran out to your car, you got on your phone, called your loved ones, and then you run back in the academy. And it's time to lock back in. And it was, you can't even put into words. It was mentally, physically, they beat you down. they beat you down, but it's all for a purpose.
Yep. Yeah. Now, how about this? And maybe maybe we'll save this for a future episode. I'd love to get into some stories of some experiences you've had since you've been a trooper. But I was thinking, I was kind of thinking about our current roster that we currently have, and I'm starting to wonder. I'm like, I wonder if we got any future state troopers on our roster now.
I'd be willing to bet.
So I'm thinking, what is it? What kind of qualities are we looking for in an elite? What makes a great state trooper? What are we looking for?
Patience. You got to be patient. You got to be a team player. You without the people that I went through the academy with, people that I made, I knew these guys for 7 months at the academy, and it feels like I've known them my whole life. You've got to be someone who's willing to make new friends, and you got to be a team player. I mean, you don't get through that without the people to your left and the people to your right. I mean, it's real life there, and it really starts in programs like Hamburg baseball, any sport in high school. I mean, teamwork.
Yeah,
As cliche as that sounds, you can tell the people who have went through a sport program as opposed to the people who've never lend out a helping hand to people. You just got picked right apart. So
yeah, sports kind of have that way of helping you get outside yourself, and seeing things from a broader perspective. That's for sure. So you finished the academy, and my family was so excited. We were so honored to get that invite from your mom to the graduation party to celebrate you finishing up the academy. And I'll tell you what, it was one of the coolest things I've ever seen. Like, we had a front row seat, and I knew you guys such a special family, such an amazing mom and dad, but it was on full display that day. I mean, their pride in you was beaming to the moon. and to see you guys share the love and affection that you guys had. Tell us about mom and dad and the relationship you guys have and the role they've played in helping you realize these dreams.
Yeah, I mean, once again, you can't put into words what a strong core, a strong family does for you. My mom and dad have preached ever since I was born. I feel like family is everything. Without family, you're nothing. Without them, you're. I don't get to this point that I'm in right now. So, you know, not only just my mom and dad. I owe them everything, but not just them. My extended family too. My aunts, my uncles, everyone around me that helped me get to this point, because they help you make certain decisions that push you to that point. So, I mean,
What it made me feel like, I felt like you think of all of the positive aspects of the Italian mob, and I felt like those aspects were there. I mean, the loyalty, that undying, unwavering feeling of like, I've got your back. Hold on, what is going on here? I think we got a glitch here in the program. What's going on here?
oh no, oh no, special guest.
Special guest. I knew we had a ringer
Oh
coming
man,
in.
now you
Oh,
just
man.
this is a curveball. You know what? I couldn't hit curveballs in high school, right? You just threw it at me.
We got a sweet one for you. Coach Chafee, welcome to episode 4, brother. What's cooking, man?
Can you hear me? You're good?
Absolutely. You're loud and clear.
Awesome. Yeah. Well, thanks for having me on with the Shane Raiman.
Yeah.
Man, this is special right here.
What brings you in? I think we brought you in for the big question today. What do you got cooking for Shane?
Let me see if I got a question for Shane. Shane, special player. Tell me, Coach Hill, when you were on varsity with me, Coach Hill was then on the JV varsity or the JV head coach. Tell me about your relationship with the assistant varsity coach at the time.
Oh man, are we talking about Pat Rickey?
Yeah, we're talking about Pat Rickey.
And you're talking about a guy who, man, we gave each other a lot. We talked a lot of smack to each other in high school. But when I was there and I was playing for him, but man, I love that guy. I can go out anywhere right now. It could be, I could be with my family out at Tops. I could go out to the poorhouse getting some chicken wings. If Pat Rickey's there and he sees me walk in, he's going to yell from across the room, "I taught that kid everything he knows, and I'm the reason he is where he is." And yeah, that's a special dude right there. But man,
if you saw him in Tops, let me ask you a question. If you saw him in Tops, would he have sleeves or would they be cut off?
Oh, they'd be cut off for sure. And I'd ask him where his muscles are.
Yeah. And the funny thing I remember about you and Coach Rickey is Coach Rickey just didn't throw BP. He tried striking guys out in BP.
Yeah, the guy throws. If I got 30 swings in, all right, in BP, 15 of those pitches were knuckleballs.
Yeah.
And the worst knuckleball you've ever seen in your life.
Oh, that's funny.
That guy, there's something wrong with that guy, but I love him.
Yeah.
I think that's why you two got along so well, buddy.
I was a snack guy my junior year. I remember a time when we were just, it was 2011. We were getting beat down by a team early in the season. and Ricky comes over to me, sits down on the bench. He goes, "Raymond, where's the snacks? I need the snacks." And I pull out 2 Uncrustables. And GB comes over and he slaps the Uncrustables out of my hands. He goes, "Are you guys serious? Ricky, you're a damn coach." And you're sitting here eating snacks. We're losing the game by let's say 10. I don't know what it was. And I don't know if you remember that, but you went off on us that day.
It was like, you can have seeds and you can have gum, but if you're sitting here having a meal on the bench, that's a problem.
That's the truth too. Me and him used to sit in the corner and eat snacks, but we had fun.
Wow. That's funny.
I want to pick both of your guys' brains on this one a little bit. I want to try to set the stage for Shane's infamous home run grand slam hit. What do you remember about that, Coach Chafe? Can you kind of paint the picture and set the stage for that moment?
Well, I'd love Shane to set it up and then me tell the truth, of course. But
I'll try to
but
tell you that.
Shane, take over. But the big thing I remember is when the ball went off the bat. There was no doubt. There was no doubt. You turned on that inside pitch and you cranked it over the right field fence. Oh, and oh my God, I knew your father for a long time, and I turned to look to see if Tommy was there, and he wasn't there at the time, and he came a little bit later. And I was like, you just missed a grand slam. Tell the story, Shaner.
Yeah, I think it was, we were 0-5 at that point, and we were playing West Seneca, right? West Seneca.
Yeah.
And our bats were going that day. That was the turning point of our season.
Yep.
And the bats were going. We were up, I don't know, 13-0, something like that. And I knew my role on that team that year. I mean, we all sat down with you before the season, and I remember you said to me, it's kind of backtracking. You pulled everyone into the office one by one, and you go, Shaner, I love you, kid, but we got a strong team this year, and you might not get much playing time. And I sat there and I said, Coach, I'll do whatever I got to do. I'm just happy to be here, be a part of the team. So now fast forward back to that. We're up 13-0, something like that. And he goes, Shaner, you're up, pinch hit. And I get up, bases loaded. And then, I mean, the kid wasn't throwing horrible. They came in, put him in a bad spot, and the juices were flowing. And I'm not even kidding. I remember turning on that ball, and off the bat, like you said, I knew it was gone. And this is the God's honest truth. I watched myself run the bases. I out of body experience. I can't even make that up. And I remember Coach Ricky at the first base. His jaw was just to the ground. It was to the ground. And I remember rounding the bases, seeing Chafe there, like, what just happened there? And man, to see all the guys going crazy like that, because I mean, I didn't have many opportunities that year. God's honest truth as well. I went 1 for 10 that year with 1 home run, 4 RBIs, and it was definitely something special. And that was. It was cool too. Fast forward to the end of the year at our little banquet we had. That was one of the moments you brought up as a turning point in the season. Was that game and that moment right there where we really turned it around and we started to make a run.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah, it was
really good stuff.
And he told the true story. It was a guy that we put in. We were up big, and I will say this. The team was on his side because he was the best support of anybody. He was beating people to foul balls. He was doing everything he could do in a tough season. It was a tough start to a season. And your junior year, and then you came in and you were definitely the man on the team. You were just, if there was a moment to carry a guy off the field, it was like, Shane, you earned it, brother. That was great.
Yeah, I have the ball right here, right in my man cave here. I swear to God.
Wow,
I still have that ball.
Yeah, the ties really run deep here. In fact, I know, Shane, your dad was, one of the first guys to welcome Steve into Western New York when he came.
Yeah.
Steve, talk to us about first meeting Shane's dad and getting connected.
Yeah, so I'm a Central New York guy, and I drove out here one day for an interview in Collins Correctional Facility, actually, and one of the guys that interviewed me was Tommy Raiman, who now I know is the dude Raiman. And strangely, one of his questions in the interview was to be a rec director at the jail. And Tommy's like, you play softball? And I'm like, I just play fast pitch. I don't play slow pitch. And he's like, that's what I'm talking about. That's softball. And he did his research. He found out the guys from Oswego that I could play. And next thing you know, I got the job, and I was on Bocans in Lackawanna. And Shaner probably wasn't even alive at the time. And a few years later, he was running around the dugout, him and his brother Colin. And I remember I became good friends with him. I mean, his mom and dad are both in contacts in my phone right now. So, yeah, I've known Shane since probably changed his diaper once or twice.
Wow.
Yeah, that's the truth too.
Yeah, yeah,
Oh, that's amazing.
You
Oh,
know,
that's
you
good.
played too back in the fast pitch when it was, it was, it was top tier. There's 16 teams in every league, 3
yeah.
leagues. I remember that like it was yesterday, brother.
Yeah, your dad gave me a great opportunity to fit in around here and meet a lot of people. So I owe him a lot. And shortly after I got the job at Collins, there was cutbacks in state workers, and so not this isn't about me, but I ended up getting a job at Hamburg High School and coaching baseball, and the Raymans moved to Hamburg, and Shane came to us as a little chunky freshman. Remember that?
Yep. Hey, do you I don't know if you remember this. Do you remember after I got cut my freshman year? Do you remember talking to me?
Yeah. Oh,
No, I
sure.
don't know if you remember this. And I was walking through the locker room. I just got cut, and he said, "Hey, what happened?" I said, "I got cut, coach." He said, "What are you going to do about it?" I said, "Well, there's only one thing I can do: work harder for next year." I don't know if you remember that, but
Well, there's so many things, so many life lessons you could give, future players, and that obviously, and you talking about what your role on the team is, because not many kids can handle that role, and you are a top 10 kid that appreciated an opportunity. You wanted to be part of something, you want to make it special, and anything that you could do, you made it better. And it might not have been on the field. So, we appreciate that as coaches. Kids like that are precious.
yeah, I mean, unfortunately nowadays, it's not. I'm not hating on young kids, but it's everyone thinks they're a superstar. But you could be the most talented kid on the team, but if you're not a team player, you're just like the next guy. But if you can
Yeah.
be the most talented player on the team and be a team player, you're something special. So that's what you really look for in a kid nowadays. So everyone wants to be the superstar. No one wants to do the behind the scenes work. So that's one thing that I would definitely tell. I know this is probably a question Hill Dog you'd ask me, but kind of let it roll off the tongue there.
Wow.
If you can get a player that is the superstar and will go grab a foul ball every now and again, that's a special player. So
Amen to that, brother. Amen.
a kid like
Oh,
that.
man. Well, well, empty your pockets, Coach Chafe. You got anything else for Shane here?
No, no, I just want to get out of your way, and I can't wait to sit back and watch this video, Shane. Like I said, I meant everything I said. There's very few guys. There's guys that have great relationships as baseball players, um, as students. And there's guys I stay connected with. And then there's guys that I expect an invite to their wedding. You know what I mean? Shane's one of those special guys, and when
We'll
he
be there,
stops by
brother.
and knocks on the door, it's always a good time. He knows my wife by name. He knows my kids by name, and he comes in and he's comfortable. So I appreciate that.
That's awesome. That's
Yeah.
awesome. Hey,
All
thanks
right.
so much for jumping in tonight, Coach.
All
Appreciate
right.
it,
You
buddy.
guys have a great time. All right.
I love you, brother.
Take it easy.
I love you too. Take care, guys.
See ya. Oh
Man,
my
man,
gosh.
that was you're bringing me back now, dude. You're bringing me back. That was special.
Man, oh
Especially
man.
because now we don't get to really see people that often.
Yeah.
We're just
Yeah.
going through the motions right now. I haven't talked to Chafe in a while, so that was nice, man.
That is, oh man, yeah. There's no doubt the connection you guys got. I mean, and I'm getting goosebumps just listening to you two go back and forth together, man. He brought up a tremendous point, and that transition, between your freshman to your sophomore year, and that's kind of where I got a chance to meet you for the first time. You're as a sophomore.
Yeah.
Um, kind of talk us about that experience. Coming back as a sophomore and starting to carve out the niche and the role that you had within the program.
Yeah, so we were proud to say as a head coach, we were your first team. So
Yep.
you came in and you were a beast. You were a beast. You had us. I'll tell you what. Let me put it like this: your first year, we respected the heck out of you, and I would put you up there with my ATOs at the academy. So essentially, my drill instructors with the academy. You probably scared me more than them your first year, and so rolling into that, we knew what you expected out of us. We still had fun, but we knew it was game time once because you brought the program to a different level. I mean, I'm not talking bad about any other people who had it before that. I didn't know them. I got cut from the team that year before that. So you coming in, you brought the team to a whole new level. You gave me an opportunity that you didn't know me. You never met me a day in your life, and apparently you saw something that you said, what, I'm going to give this kid a shot. I played probably 50% of the games that year. You did your best to rotate us all through and get us in the games, and we had a competitive year that year. We were no slouches that year, that's for sure. If I remember it correctly, I mean we didn't blow anyone out of the water, I don't think, but at the same time we were a very competitive, very disciplined team that year.
No, I thought you guys played tremendous ball that year, and you guys had a really dynamite schedule. We were in that ECIC 1 division and playing all the big dogs day after day after day, and yeah, you guys did some amazing things. I thought I want to try to capture this moment if we can. So you're working your tail off as a sophomore, and I'm sure you're kind of keeping an eye on those varsity guys. Was there one guy on the varsity team there when you were younger that you kind of had your eye on and said, man, I'd love to play the game like him someday?
I knew I could never play the game like him. Honestly, I mean, this kid was special. Jordan Pitlack, man, he's my boy to this day. That kid, one of the most incredible athletes I've ever seen ever. I mean, I'd put him up with anyone, not just baseball. I mean, that kid playing fast. We played fast pitch softball for years after, and anything he touches, man, he's good at. Golf, volleyball, anything. But when it came to baseball, man, you want to talk about a talent that it looked so effortless when that kid played. So it's got to be Jordan, man.
That's a really good one. That's a good one. Now, okay, so then we get up to varsity, and did you have a chance to go south at all? The teams you were on, did you guys travel at all?
So not my junior year, my senior year, so 2012, we went to Daytona Beach, I believe it was, and that was a treat, brother. That was a treat when we went there. That was we played, when we went down south, we played some pretty high caliber teams. It was a weird transition though, that the field we were playing on and everything, they were going through like a rebuild. So it was in a really weird spot. But yeah, we went down to Daytona Beach that year, my senior year.
That's outstanding. That's cool. I know those are trips. Never underestimate those trips. Those are the memories that really stick with you. That's for sure.
Man, I remember we were sitting there. We were at a pretty decent motel, and we all come out for like dinner the one night, and we look out into the pool. What the heck's going on over there? There was a rapper called Iceberg Tony. He was filming a ask any of the guys on the team that year. This guy was filming a rap video at our motel, and we're all up there like, yo, let us get in there. And needless to say, he didn't want any baseball players from the suburbs of Hamburg in Iceberg Tony's video. So that is one of the funniest things I can remember from that trip. Not even talking about baseball.
Yeah.
Those are the things you remember for the rest of your life, stemming from baseball itself. So
that's it. Now, at some point, you didn't always have those big guns that you currently have.
I'm drinking now with this COVID, but
at what point did you get engaged in the weight room? Because I think this was a major reason. This was a big transformation for you. Like, how did you get started? What hooked you?
So I'm going way back to the first time I ever, we did a little working out with your program right at the start there when you took over. But I'll tell you, when I started going on my own with Dougie DiBello after school. And one day I'm just like, hey, you wanna show me how to do some things? I was a string bean. I went from the chunky little freshman to I grew like 7 inches in a year. I want to say from my 10th grade year to 11th grade year, I really started hitting the weights with Dougie DiBello. And I mean, I couldn't lift 30s above my head. And so that was kind of the start. And then I asked Coach McFadden the one year. I didn't play football or anything like that. If I could work out with him in the football team, I want to say towards like the start of my senior year, and I was working out with Colin Daly a lot.
Okay.
And Colin Daly, he was really big into lifting. So that's like really the start. It started with Dougie DeBello, you and the program that you kind of started off with, and then it moved into, I kind of like this. I'm not really good at it, but there's only one way to do it. It's to learn by just going and doing it. So Mr. McFadden let me come and work out with the football team on after school, like 3 or 4 days a week, and that's how I really started.
Wow, I didn't know that. I didn't.
Yeah,
I
no,
didn't know
not a lot of people do. I mean, I was newer to Hamburg, so I didn't have much going on. So I made a lot of friends that way too. It's just working out.
How
And,
did once you started to see the results, and then you buy in even more?
yeah.
How did you feel that affect your confidence and just the way you went about everything?
So I didn't really start seeing like crazy results or anything like that until after high school. I kind of blew up after high school a little bit. I mean, if you want to call it that.
Yeah.
But I really started to see results after I joined the gym, probably my end of my senior year, freshman year of college. And, you put in the work, you get your results, and confidence-wise, I mean, brings you to a whole new level. I mean, not confident, not cocky. I mean,
Right.
you know what I mean, if that makes sense. Some people, like playing video games. Some people like, I don't know, they have other hobbies. I really, really enjoyed, working out, staying in shape. So, but confidence wise, I wasn't a shy kid, but it kind of brought me out of my shell a little bit. That's for sure.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Um, and then, so you graduate, and the best thing that happened to us was you were pretty close by, 2 years at ECC, then Bluff State. So you're in the neighborhood the whole time. And you were kind of like an adjunct member of the coaching staff, for several years in and out as your schedule allowed. What do you remember about that 2015 team in the run, because you were with us all the way right up through Binghamton, what do you remember about those days?
Man, those guys were incredible. Absolutely, it gives me chills to this day thinking about those guys, because it was cool because I got to watch them go from that goofy little freshman
Yeah.
to like, I mean, that's the only way to explain it because I was there. I know how it feels, to these just studs on the field. I mean, I remember David E. his first time lifting a weight, squatting 25 pounds on each side, to hitting the game winner at Gowanda. And I said, wow, look at what 4 years of a program can do for a kid. And what I remember most about it was that those guys were I saw how much hard work they put in over not just 1 year, not just 2 years, over 3 or 4 years of progression. It doesn't happen overnight. And I got to see every step of the way for him. So, and David, he's just a perfect example of it. And I'm sure you can attest to it. His first time in a weight room compared to when he was squatting 315 for reps by the time he was a senior in high school, screaming at the top of his lungs at the top of every rep.
No doubt.
That team was special, and they were a weird kind of special too because they were locked in. I mean, you remember that bus ride down to Binghamton? That was the quietest bus ride I've ever heard in my entire life, and they were locked in, laser focused.
Yeah, they were on mission, baby. They were on mission. Yeah, boy, good times, man. And I thought, that's part of what, having you and Tisha involved that year was a big part of, I thought, what made everything click the way it did. They had that young energy, and you guys could kind of play good cop when you needed to and put your arm around those guys and things like that. It was the perfect combination, I think.
Yeah, it was really cool because, that's what's good about this is that for people who want to be involved in the program like I was, like Keyshaw was, you have that grace period of 2 to 3 years where the guys know you, they'll look at you, and they'll kind of respect you a different way than the head coaches. You know what I mean? Where they could come to us and ask us something, or they could joke around with us a little more. And that's what's cool, because after our 3 years, we pass it on to the next guys, and more guys come in and take over. Like Oshai came in, Austin came in and he took over. Edie took over for a little bit. Berm took over for a little bit, and hopefully we keep that rolling into the future here. I mean, that's what's cool about it.
That is for sure, man. That is for sure. Oh, buddy, we can keep going, I'm sure, for a good 5 more hours, and there could be an episode 2 in the future here. But we'll try to bring things to somewhat of a close here. We'll hit you with the lightning round here if you're ready for this, buddy. So I'm really looking forward to this because I know you've got some great ideas. Let's say, next spring, it's 2021. Next spring, we're about to take the field, and Shane Raiman's got the floor in the locker room. What are you telling these boys, for advice going forward?
Man, like if I'm getting like a team pumped up for a game,
yeah,
let's say the sectional finals. That's a good start.
Here we go.
These are the moments you're going to remember for the rest of your life. So you leave it all out there. You don't hold anything back. Seriously, and it's as cliche as that sounds. You don't want to go through the rest of your life saying, I could have done this, I could have done that. You leave it all on the field. You do what you have to do to win, and you do what you have to do. I mean, there's a million things you could say, but you don't want to leave any doubt. That's the biggest thing. You don't want to say I could have done this better, or I could have done one more rep in practice. You know what I mean? You leave it all out there. All the preparation all comes down to one moment, and then hopefully it works out. Which I've had a couple good times in my career, where it all worked out. So
that's outstanding. Thinking back, because you played with some incredible dudes, and you were part of a team as your junior year that won a sectional title, and was 1 or 2 plays from getting to Binghamton yourself, Who was the most underrated player that you played with?
So he wasn't a part of that team. Okay. So it would have been the next. So it would have been 2012, and I played with him on JV. Chris Tuttle, man, that was the most underrated kid that never got enough credit that I've ever seen, man. A lot of kids have excuses for why they can't get to practice, why they can't do this, why they can't do that. I don't know his situation, growing through high school and everything, but he never had an excuse, man. That kid, I watched that kid go from number 16 on the depth chart to a top 5 guy in the lineup, to that kid always wanted another rep. Give me another rep. He would. I don't know if you can attest to this or if you agree with me, but that kid worked. That kid was a workhorse. If it meant taking a line drive right off the chest at third base, Tuttle would take a ball off the chest from third base.
No doubt. No doubt.
Because I don't know if you remember this. His freshman year, my junior year, I was playing left field. I think we were at Star Point. It was like an exhibition game or something, and Tuttle's playing third, and he gets the easiest fly ball I've ever seen in my entire life. And I'm not trashing on Tuttle, because this is all going to go full circle here. And he's got the easiest fly ball of his entire life, and he's going back on it, and I have no chance to get into it. It's in the infield, and he trips over his feet, and he goes, "Dope!" like Homer Simpson, and he drops that ball, and I run in from left field, and I grab that ball, and we throw it in, obviously, and that was one of the funniest things I've ever seen on a field. Now fast forward to, as the season progresses, as the years progress, to see the way that kid worked, to go from a kid who was lower on the depth chart to I don't care. That kid was a stud.
Mm-hmm.
He could hit, he could play the field, and most importantly, he cared about Hamburg baseball. He cared about his team. So that's got to be my most underrated player I've ever played with.
That's awesome. You're right. He was really an elite. Like, he was a gold glove level third baseman by the time it was all done.
I mean, he was an animal over there, but it all came from, that's just a testament to hard work, because he wasn't the most naturally gifted baseball player out there.
No.
I mean, anyone will tell you he worked hard, and that's what made Tuttle so. I mean, I hope he sees this, because he never got enough credit, and I want him to know he deserves that credit, man.
That's awesome, buddy. That is awesome, Shane. All right, third question here. So, I mean, you've been all over the state, buddy. You've been all over the state. When you get a chance to come back to Hamburg, where are we going out to eat, buddy? What's your favorite place?
Man, everyone's been giving Juicy Burger some love, and I agree. Juicy Burger is good. It's great, but man, you can't beat going out to that Coyote Cafe, the hot spot down there, for a quesadilla and a cold beverage. That was our spot out of once we got into college and everything. That was the hot spot back when. It sounds like I'm old now, but when we were 21, 22, we were all about Coyote back then. So I still really like to go there, get some chips and salsa, have a cold one, an adult beverage, and just relax. But unfortunately, lately it's
tough. Eventually, we'll all meet back there at some point.
Get the boys together and we'll all get out there.
Yeah. How about this? Your days at Hamburg, was there a teacher in particular or a class that had a real profound impact on you?
Oh yeah, for sure. Till this day, is one of the best guys I have ever met, Mr. Gang.
Bam.
That guy. Views wise, we probably don't agree on everything. What he views politically, what I would view probably politically, but that guy has a heart on him. I remember that's a special dude right there. And every time I see him walking in the village, I'll beep at him, I'll wave at him. He was one of my references for the state police too.
Oh yes,
doing Chafe. So that guy's incredible. So
that's outstanding. That's really good stuff.
And Miss Lavis gets some love too. I put her through hell in high school. And Miss Lavis was awesome, so I love her too.
That's good. All right, bring us home, buddy. Empty your pockets. Usually we finish with, your favorite on-field memory. So and I think, I don't want to put words in your mouth, but obviously we've hit that grand slam. Anything else you want to just throw at us here before we wrap it up?
We already touched on the grand slam, so I mean that's the selfish answer. So I'm gonna move on to I'd say coaching wise, David Eady's grand slam, or not grand slam, I apologize. David Eady's walk off at Gowanda. Man, Berm put that thing perfectly. He hit that ball from Gowanda to Hamburg. And that was one of the most incredible sports moments I've ever been a part of. Because like you said, that kid's special, the way he worked throughout his baseball career, and to go and do that versus a special team like that was incredible. And just the build up to it too. I mean, I don't know if you remember T-Shaw grabbing the news camera before that, running around the dugout, interviewing all the guys. He's interviewing me before the game, and just the juices were flowing that game. Yeah. And to that game, that moment, that has to be it, other than obviously the grand slam.
Yeah. Oh man, Shane, that's good stuff, buddy. I can't tell you, and Coach Chafe said it, man. I can't tell you how much we love you, and we appreciate everything you've done to contribute to this program from so many different angles. And I'm telling you what, buddy, we're gonna need you some more. We're gonna need you some more down the road. So, we're gonna be leaning on you and looking forward to staying in touch, buddy, and seeing where this journey takes you, man.
Yeah, I appreciate it. And if I could really quick, just one closing statement here. We got some tough times in this world right now, and I know probably hopefully some of the young guys on the team see this and can get something out of this. With what we got going on in the world, I know that people are looking at policing or police in general as, some people look at us like we're the bad guys. Some people look at us like, we're doing a lot of harm right now. And I would just want to assure these young guys coming up in the program that, that if you ever need anything, you don't ever hesitate to go to a police officer, a trooper, anyone, and we'll help you with anything you ever need. Just always remember this, that even though in this world that we're the struggles that we're going through right now and the way people view us and the kind of the negative view that, the media is putting towards us. Just remember that the same people that, kids and adults alike are going up to and videotaping and shoving phones in their face and slandering and doing all that. These same police officers, these same troopers are the same people that on 9/11 ran towards the danger when people were running away. And on December 5th, 2020, I didn't know her personally. A trooper out of the Boston Barracks right here, Jennifer Sezernacki, passed away from complications with cancer related to 9/11. So I just wanted to give her a little shout out and blessings to her family and the whole trooper community. Just remember, those are the people that are putting their lives on the line. She packed up, she left her family, she left her friends, and she went down to New York City for 3 weeks and has succumbed to her some illnesses related to that. So, I encourage these kids nowadays, if they have friends, family that, are kind of slandering us, looking down on us, just remember those people who gave their life, like this hometown hero, Jennifer, that we had here. And just remember that, everyone's got something going on and we're good people.
Yeah, I don't know how we thank you guys enough for what you do. I mean, you talk and you mentioned the word patience earlier. I don't know how you guys have as much patience as you do to handle some of the situations that you have to handle and do it with a cool head. The unselfish decisions that you make, to put basically everybody else in the world ahead of yourself. It's just unbelievable. And, I tell you what, you got a lot of big fans back here in Hamburg that are thankful and we're supporting you, and we're praying for you guys' safety, and just really thankful for you guys, man.
Yep. Like I said, I just hope some of these kids seeing this can never be scared of us, man. We're, 99 out of 100 times we're good people. So just, and we're good people because of people like you, Chafe, and the program itself. We're humans too. So.
Oh man, you are the man, Shane. All right, buddy.
Hey, I want to one day hopefully get on a collab with Tisha after you get on here. We could have, that would be a treat for the kids here.
Dangerous. That is dangerous, but I think it'll probably happen though.
All right. Hey, happy holidays.
Yeah, you too, buddy.
Love you, brother.
All right, take care, buddy. We'll see you, Shaner.
Yeah.